Morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to day 4 of the daily lessons in witchcraft. I need to first apologize if you hear my dog is barking out the door. I've got 3 Dobermans and a pit boxer mix that are outside playing in the snow. Some wild hair going on up here. And they're having way too much fun. And also for my appearance, you will notice that for several videos consecutively, I look exactly the same. It's because I made all of these videos in the same day. I actually had the time today to make all of these videos for you guys, and so I did. And I really didn't see the point in changing clothes every single time. So that is why I look exactly the same. It's not because I don't shower. Okay, so today, day 4, we're going to briefly, very briefly discuss the Sabbats. Later on down the line, I'm going to do a video for each individual Sabbat where I go into very in-depth and very detailed information on each one of those Sabbats. However, right now, this, like I said, it's just an introduction. If you want more information, you can get my book, Practical Magic for the Penny Pinching Witch. I will put the link for that below. It's available on Kindle as well as paperback. Wrote the book myself, all by myself. Did the cover art myself. Published it myself. It's all me. Excuse me. So let's get started, shall we? Okay. Now, when I give the dates for these, I'm going to give both the Northern and the Southern Hemisphere dates because they're different, okay? Like, we'll start out with Yule, okay? Now, here in the Northern Hemisphere, we celebrate Yule on or around December 21st. In the Southern Hemisphere, it is celebrated on or around June 21st. This is... in my house, our celebration lasts for about 6 days. Each person in the house gets a really small gift, including the dogs and the cat. The dogs get like a treat, and the cat will get like a can of stinky food. And we just, give each other just really small gifts. And then on Yule, I'll cook a huge meal with like ham and veggies. My husband and I will have a glass of wine or 12. And the kids get sparkling cider, sparkling juice, grape juice, because they're 17 and 15, not old enough to drink yet. We decorate the house with evergreens like holly, pine, mistletoe. In bulk, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it takes place around February 2nd, and in the Southern Hemisphere, it's around August 1st. This is when we handle purification and cleansing. And this is also when we begin our spring cleaning. Now, in our house, spring cleaning lasts from Imbolc up to Ostara. That's just us. This is also when we make our pledges and rededications for the coming year. Excuse me. Ostara, here in the Northern Hemisphere, takes place around March 20th to the 21st. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's September 1st. This is when we celebrate fertility, not just for ourselves, but for animals and the crops to come in the spring and summer. We also decorate eggs and hide them for the little ones. I have a niece that's 6, still likes to look for eggs. My kids still like to go hunt for eggs. I have a grandson who's he's not mine. That's my daughter's best friend. Had a baby, and it's my grandbaby. That's what I call him. Aiden's my grandbaby. And we decorate eggs for him too. So now Beltane here in the Northern Hemisphere is celebrated May 1st. It's also called May Day. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's celebrated October 31st. This is when we celebrate death and rebirth. We also celebrate the union of the Mother Goddess with the young horned god, and we build a bonfire. It's usually pretty big. We start it with 9 sacred woods: oak, apple, hawthorn, birch. My bad. Brain's not working today. So oak, apple, hawthorn, birch, ash, willow, cedar, yew, and holly. Okay. When the fire goes out and the ashes are cooled down, we spread those ashes like over our garden if we grow one that year. If we don't, we'll take it to my mother-in-law's and spread it over her garden. She has a garden every year. This is also when we like to commune with the fairies. And that's something that our kids love to do. And it's something that we have nurtured with them since they were very little. We actually, we've moved around a little bit while the kids have been growing up. And we have a band of fairies that's followed us everywhere we go. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun until they start stealing things. Because they'll do that. Don't leave your shiny things out because they'll take them. If the coven gets together, we don't generally do this anymore with us because the kids don't care about it. They're too old. But if the coven gets together, we have several younger ones in the coven, and we'll actually do a maypole and dance around the maypole. Midsummer, also called Litha. We celebrate here in the Northern Hemisphere on June 21st. Hear his big mouth out there barking. In the Southern Hemisphere, it is December 21st. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but the dates are like opposite. Like opposite times of the year. It's weird. Anyway, this is when we spend our time hiking, swimming, and yeah, we're outside. It's starting to get warm finally. None of us like the cold except my son. He thinks he's an Eskimo or a polar bear. He loves the sub-zero temperatures we've been having. Me, personally, I hurt. I have RA, and it's murder on my bones. Once the day starts to fade and, the sun starts to set, then we usually have a spicy dinner. Just depends on what we're all in the mood for. And generally, the main course will be pork. Pork doesn't sit well with my belly, but I will eat just a little bit so I can partake. That's one of our favorite holidays out of the year. It's first day of summer. It's fantastic. It's when we know, yay, cold season is over. Lammas, here in the Northern Hemisphere, takes place on August 1st. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's February 2nd. This is when we decorate our altar in our house with grains, and a favorite food for us at this time is blooming onions. We love blooming onions. And I generally have to cook a blooming onion for each of us because one's never enough. And each one of the kids has to have one of their own because then they're fighting over it's bad. The onion is sacred to the sun, which is why we choose the blooming onion. We generally have a picnic where we have libations to the earth, where we do whole grains, breads, fruits, wines. The adults take part in the wines. The children, they get juice like fruit juices. Mabon, for us in the Northern Hemisphere is September 21st. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's March 21st. Now, this is considered the witch's Thanksgiving, okay? We make grapevine wreaths that we wrap with gold and yellow ribbons all the way around, make big pretty bows. We make witches' brooms out of corn husks, corn dollies, big dinner, huge dinner. We like to eat. We love food, so I always make a big dinner. And then we have Samhain. It takes place for us on October 31st, and in the Southern Hemisphere, it's May 1st. This is our New Year's Eve. And you talk to 20 different witches, they're going to pronounce Samhain 20 different ways. You're going to hear Samhain, 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 Samhain. It's all open to interpretation. Okay, I mean, it is. I say Samhain. Sometimes you'll catch me, I'll say Samhain. Depends on if I'm being lazy or not. Who knows? This is when we honor our loved ones who have passed. Now, both my parents have passed away, and so we always do a big ritual in their honor. This is also when we make our New Year's resolutions as witches for the year to come. we do our, of course, we do the jack-o'-lanterns, light them up with a spirit candle, and when we have dinner, it's a mute dinner. No talking is allowed. We put away all the cell phones. No words are spoken. This is when we reflect on loved ones that we've lost, and we reflect on how we plan on changing ourselves as witches and as human beings and spiritual beings for the year to come. So that's a very, very brief introduction to 8 wonderful holidays that we celebrate as pagans, witches, Wiccans. Again, I will put a link to my book down below in the description, as well as a link to my Facebook page. I hope everybody has a good day. Be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. You don't want karma coming back to get you. It's not pretty. Have a good one, guys. See you later.